Hi, this is Capun Pisa. This is part 4 of my series of religious as a mental disorder, and Christianity, the worst of them, is a psychopathy that's being in control of the whole world. How the Catholic Church started with psychopathy and then controlled the brain of everyone, controlling the minds, keeping people retarded and ignorant and very superstitious, and how drugs influence, and of course the weather, but how drugs influence the mind without people realizing it. We are born lacking belief, in other words, atheist. But we are conditioned by the belief of our parents and the society. We go back 1600 years, and you grew up in this Christian psychosis and these beliefs. And then, of course, you know, the brain is affected by all kinds of things, by entheogens, by the food that you eat, by everything. And then comes the superstitions. And anything, if you eat certain fruits and you don't realize that, all of a sudden you feel uncomfortable, you feel hot, and you start seeing visions, due to the drugs you think is actually that you're talking to God. Because people didn't know, they thought the brain was the organ to think with. They believe it was the heart at the time. So they were completely under condition of religious beliefs and psychosis. There is no God. We all create the whole delusions with our brain.
Disputes and deep religious divisions tore at the struggling community.
Christ-psychosis all over.
Eternal damnation was an ever-present threat.
See that?
And the world of demons seemed as real as the hard New England soil.
Just like the schizophrenics. They believe their imaginary friends are real.
People living in the 17th century tended to believe that most things could be explained supernaturally.
Well, it was okay for people in the 17th century to believe in God and demons and all that crap. But not today, in the 21st century. There is no God. It's all created by the brain when it's affected by disease or drugs.
During the Salem witch trials of 1692, in a few terror-filled months, nearly 200 people would be condemned as witches. 14 women and 5 men would be hanged on Salem's gallows hill.
Yeah, they ingested ergot by accident.
How did the witch hunt of 1692 begin?
Make them crazy,
and
make their brain
here?
screwed up, like LSD. So the brain is what creates God. Today, you know, if all of a sudden you feel depressed, it's something that you ate. It's some chemicals. Sometimes magnetism in your house, you know, the electromagnetic, very deep waves and stuff like that can screw you up. If you live next to an electrical plant or something, if you drink a lot of coffee, you know what happens, and drugs. So everything is affected by the brain. So if you start seeing visions of seeing something, you better go see a psychiatrist. It's something, you know, that you probably ate. So this is the people in ancient times didn't know that. And ergot is a contamination of rye, and it survives baking. So people in Massachusetts, in Salem, saw that, and they create, you know, they thought they were seeing demons.
It was a special wine made from barley. Could mere wine be the source of such remarkable visions?
No way. Not only wine. Use more stuff. There's a lot of other stuff.
Scholars believe that barley could induce visions.
Flowers.
This ergot, which grows on barley, evokes powerful hallucinations.
Claviceps purpurea is the fungus.
During the Middle Ages, whole villages went temporarily insane from eating ergot-infected grain.
And Christians are already insane anyway. They don't need the drug. Today, thanks to science, atheism, lack of believing God, neuroscience particularly, we know that we create all these thoughts in the mind and insanity with our brains when they malfunction. So there is no God. You know, just take some LSD and you'll see God, if you want a God. But anyway, here is the mechanisms, thanks to science, of what LSD does. Which is, thanks to Dr. Hoffman, LSD was created out of ergot.
We collect it into tubes, and you concentrate it down and crystallize it, so we can get very pure material that way.
Study the effects of its molecular structure in the brain.
We think that it activates a type of brain receptor that's known as a serotonin 2A receptor.
Responsible for relaying signals between brain and nerve cells. Perception, emotion, appetite, and sleep are all affected by its fluctuations, and fits almost like a key into the serotonin receptors.
The LSD does, yeah.
Stimulating their activity, subtly or profoundly.
This is the reason I said, people that believe in God, Christians and all that, they're destroying the country. They're insane people. They should pay taxes. And they should be completely put in mental institutions. And they shouldn't be allowed to corrupt the mind of young people and keep them stuck in the Middle Ages with all this garbage. They cause intolerance and genocide and psychopathy and all the problems that we have. In ancient times it was okay. This is, I'm going to explain here, the various entheogens that created religious belief 5,000 years ago and all that affected the brain. And if you go to see, go to museums, go to the ruins of the Roman Empire and all that, the drugs, the entheogens, are all right there, right in front of your eyes. The problem is people they don't connect the dots and don't understand.
They probably passed out little drinks that would help ease you into a nice sleep that was filled with visions.
Yeah, the Bible. They used
It is known that the Hebrews gave wine to the sick and the injured.
Yeah.
They also gave more powerful drugs.
Yeah, with mushrooms. It's the only way you can see God.
In biblical times, physicians understood opium's unrivaled power to ease the sufferer's pain. That other ancient peoples altered their consciousness.
All of them used, all of them. This proved, it's a fact.
Classical Greeks, who created a brilliant civilization revered to this day as a triumph of the rational mind.
Yes. All the people use entheogens.
But there is evidence that the ancient world's greatest thinkers also journeyed to the mind's darker side.
That's right.
The mystical world of spirits and visions.
That's the only way you can see God is by ingesting drugs. Affecting. History Channel is probably owned by Christians or Christ-psychosis because they are so stupid. They don't connect it right out. They have a lot of misinformation. I have to correct them. But basically the Bible is bullshit. All the Abrahamic religions are bullshit. They were copies of the Roman religion. They never mentioned that. They're the ones that had all the entheogens and all the drugs and the sacraments and everything. They don't mention that. That's where everything originated. Opium baths can give you visions. The Romans use it. You can see this in the scepter of the Christus, Caesar Augustus. And also here's the scepter, opium. All these flowers and all this psychoactive substances were used in the Roman Empire sacraments. Here are mushrooms, which are depicted in a patera, which is the dish, a sacramental dish that the priest used. Here's the arapakis, and it's also depicted above the garlands, which are all sacred. They all have a meaning. Here is a patera. As a sacred artifact, a dish used in ceremonies with the picture of the gods. Is another, look at the shape of the mushroom, the hallucinogenic mushroom, the Amanita muscaria. It's another. This one is the shape of a lady's vagina, the sacred cave of creation. The Emperor Hadrian with a patera, a dish. And here is also another Emperor Maxentius with the patera. Here is a Amanita muscaria mushroom. It looks like, it resembles an apple. That is where the apples of Apollo came from, the apple of Eve in the Garden of Paradise and all that nonsense. Here's a lady with the patera, also another goddess. The Emperor Commodus, which was kind of crazy, with the apples of the Hesperids from Hercules. The Greek religion, here are the apples, the sacred apples. They are actually Amanita muscaria mushrooms. Here is a lady with opium bud also. And here in the religious Christian, they copy everything because the Christian religion copy everything with the Roman religion. They call it paganism. Here she is holding a fruit also. So everything is there. Also flowers, very important, and they give you hallucinations and make you see God like datura flowers. They're also depicted in the cuirass of the Roman emperors. Look at the little flower. And here in the Ark of Titus in Rome you can see the flowers. And they're everywhere. Why the flowers? Because they're sacraments. You eat them and you see God with them. Here is in the ceiling of the Ark of Titus, and here in the Christian Basilica, also the flowers. Even in the Vatican they have flowers. So that tells you what it is. So this is the reason it's important to connect all the dots of every discipline. You have archaeology, history, and all that, and neurology. Realizing that we are born, luck and believe, atheists. We create God with our brain. We have to keep the brain healthy. Chemicals, all kind of stuff can affect the brain, can affect our thoughts. And religious people have a problem with the brains, and they should put in mental institutions. Just like people that suffer from depression, autism, and all that, they are screwed up. So I'll continue with part 5. Pachi